last day of college before the winter
No, no,
vacation?
I cannot tell you because let your exam. What is the date of your exam? Do you know?
No, ma'am, not about the exam. I
Yes.
was telling what is the last day of college before the winter vacation
Oh,
commences?
before the winter vacation. Yeah, it is 22nd.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm. And that the notice is there. Please follow college website. Everything is there. All important notices are there. Follow college website regularly.
Okay.
Notice is there. College prospectus. You can call it college brochure or whatever. So this is also there. Not the day holiday list is available there. Okay, so we are discussing about the consumer behavior. We discussed about the background of the consumer behavior. Then we considered the two concepts of utility, the cardinal and the ordinal approach. And based on the cardinal approach, the concept of total and marginal utility. Then the corresponding diagram of the total and marginal utility comes. From there, we got the law. The name of the law is law of diminishing marginal utility. So many sounds are coming outside of my class. So this is not your fault. Actually, my neighbors are making so many sounds. So constructions is going on. So that is why. Anyway, next, the relation between the marginal utility and the theory of demand, and then the assumptions of the ordinal utility. Up to that much we discussed in the last class. So if you have any query up to this point, you can ask me. Is there any problem up to this slide? No. Okay, so let me go to the next one, a new concept. The concept is indifference card, indifference. So the name is telling you are indifferent. Indifferent of what? Indifferent of two commodities consumption. Why? Because you are getting same utility. So what is the definition of the indifference curve? The definition is it is the combination of consumption of two commodities so that total utility is constant. Okay. It is the combination, or it look here it is written as locus of consumption of two commodities so that total utility is constant. So this is the definition. Now look at this diagram. So you are consuming two commodities X and Y. So look at this. Say you are consuming this much of X and this much of Y. Okay. So that combination is giving you a certain level of utility. Then utility, you know the level of satisfaction you are getting. Now, given the amount of consumption of Y, if you, or rather, given the consumption of X, if you increase consumption of Y, then what will happen? Your total utility will increase or decrease. What do you think? Consumption of X is constant. Consumption of Y has increased. Then your total utility will increase, same or decrease. What do you think?
Ma'am, increase.
It will increase definitely. You are consuming one commodity more, but the consumption of another commodity is same as before. So as your total utility is more at this new combination as compared to the initial one, so the new combination point is not on the indifference curve, because by definition total utility should be constant along the curve. But in this at this point your total utility is higher, so that should not be on the same indifference curve. On the other hand, start from the initial one, that is that amount of X and that amount of Y. If you want to increase consumption of Y, you can understand your total utility is rising. But you have to make constant total utility because you want to draw the indifference curve. Hmm. Now, given that you have to reduce consumption of X, right? If you reduce consumption of X, then your total utility falling. And you have increased your consumption of Y, so the total utility is rising. The sum total is constant. So what I want to say that if you increase consumption of one commodity, you have to reduce consumption of another commodity to get same total utility. I'm repeating again. If you want to increase consumption of one commodity, then you have to reduce consumption of another commodity so that total utility is constant. বুঝতে পারলে? Is it clear? If you increase consumption of one commodity, you have to reduce consumption of another commodity so that total utility is constant. Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
No. Otherwise, what happens if you want to increase consumption of one commodity by constant consumption of another, you will go to the higher utility level. But along the indifference curve, your utility should be same. And you know that, and you are going to increase consumption of one commodity. That means you have to reduce consumption of another commodity so that total utility will be same as before. Okay, so what I want to say, there is an inverse relation between consumption of two commodities. Okay, if I want to increase consumption of one, then I have to reduce consumption of another. So there is an inverse relation between consumption of two commodities. So if there is an inverse relation, then the curve should be downward sloping. And look at the shape, this purple one. This is actually the indifference curve, very uneven, no issue. It may be uneven, but look at the position, it is downward sloping. So what is the shape of our indifference curve? It will be downward sloping. And what is the equation of the indifference curve? U bar is equal to U, that is a function of X and Y. Now look, if I write U as a function of X and Y, then it will be the utility function. Okay. If I write U without bar, if I write U function of X and Y, then it is nothing but the utility function. But if I write U bar is a function of X and Y, that means U should be constant, then it is the equation of indifference curve. Okay, so that bar is creating this equation as the equation of indifference curve. If there is no bar, then it is simple utility function. Okay, up to this point, is it okay?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Out of the two goods, if I have preference for one good, more preference for one good, and if we decrease that good and increase the other good to make the utility constant, the shouldn't the utility be less because the preferable item is being reduced?
No, still it will happen because okay, you are saying that one of these X and Y you are preferring more, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you repeat? Your voice faded away.
Just a minute, wait, let me use that. Yeah, now is it better?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Acha, so what I am saying, okay, what she is saying that out of this X and Y, if I want, if out of this X and Y, one is more preferable to me and another is less preferable or bad? What do you think?
Less preferable than Y, or I mean, or the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
good.
Okay, okay. If it is less preferable, then the slope will be different. Then the slope will be different. But obviously, it will be negatively sloped because say Y is more preferable. Fine. Y is
But
more
ma'am, in
preferable.
that case, if we reduce one and increase the consumption of the other, the utility wouldn't remain same.
No, in that case, if okay, okay, okay. Say you are preferring X. In this diagram, you are preferring X than Y. Okay. And you are going to reduce consumption of X. That means to make up it, to cover it, as your total utility must be constant, to cover that sacrifice you have done, the sacrifice of utility you have done from the X consumption, you have to consume a lot of Y, so that from there you can gather same amount of utility. Okay. Dekho.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Dekho. Okay, look, say this is the amount of X, this is the amount of Y initially you have consumed. This is X. And you are preferring X. Somehow you have to reduce consumption of X. So you have consumed, you have reduced X consumption by this much. You know, as you are reducing consumption of X, your utility is falling, and it is falling significantly because you are preferring X. Okay, but you want to draw the indifference curve. That means you want to make total utility constant. So how can you do that? Because by reducing X consumption, you have sacrificed a lot of total utility because you are preferring it a lot. Okay, so in that case, to cover it up, you have to increase the consumption of Y, say by that much. A significant amount of Y consumption is there, so that as you increase Y consumption, your total utility is rising definitely, and that increase in total utility from Y, that can cover the sacrifice of utility from X reduction. So in that case, your total utility will be flatter like this. Okay.
Ma'am, is there any case in which the indifference curve becomes a straight line, almost like a straight line, but not a straight
Why not? Why not? I will show. So many things can happen with the indifference curve. Straight line, L-shaped, positively sloped, just
Then
a
it
point.
becomes like an elastic or inelastic curve. Then
No, it is
differentiate.
it is not elasticity actually, it is your preference. Okay, it is your preference, based on your preference, because you can prefer, you are a human being, your preference may be quite different than others, and based on that there will be different shapes of, as I said, you may have this type of indifference curve. Look, this is also possible, this is also possible, that type of indifference curve is also possible, this indifference curve is possible, this indifference curve is possible. Look, I'm just showing you the options. This indifference curve, this indifference curve, even this type of indifference curve, all these are the possibilities. So you can understand how many indifference curves are there, depending on your level of preference. Is it okay?
No, it need not be concave. It need not be
Yeah,
concave or convex.
no, here it is concave. Look, this is concave. This is concave. Generally, indifference curve is like this. Generally, indifference curve is convex, but concavity is also possible. And we will show everything. We will show all. ঠিক আছে?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is the thing. Okay, different type of indifference curves are there, as she was asking, and we will explain all of them one by one. My only problem is the time. If I have the time, I will definitely discuss all, because it's a large chapter, I should say. Anyway, now after getting the indifference curve, logically we can understand it is negatively sloped. But what is the exact value of its slope? That we are going to find out. Okay, so this is the utility, this is the equation of the indifference curve. If I going to differentiate it, total differentiate, then it will be like, you know, the left hand side will be 0 because it's a constant, and the right hand side, that will be del, okay, this is del, huh? Del u, the total differentiation, remember, del u del x into dx, okay, plus del u del y into dy. Okay, generally what we are doing, this is something wrong, but actually we are measuring y on the vertical axis and x on the horizontal axis generally. Okay, this is called the x-axis, this is called the y-axis. In that case, the slope of the indifference curve will be dy dx, right? Do you agree with me? This is the general, we are finding the value of dy dx to find the slope of the curve. Is it clear? So what is the value of dy dx here? Do you get the thing? My handwriting is okay for you? Just for understanding. Look, this is not at all okay, but just for understanding, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Del y del x del u del y. Can you tell me what is the name of del u del x? We know the name actually. Can you tell me what is the name? Del u del x. Change of utility due to change of x consumption. What is the name of it?
Ma'am, marginal utility.
Exactly, marginal utility of x. So del u by del x, this is nothing but the marginal utility of x, and del u del y is nothing but the marginal utility of y. So what is the slope? The slope is mu x by mu y with a negative sign, minus of mu x by mu y. So this is the slope. Okay. Now, generally, as I said, if the commodity is a normal commodity, then marginal utility is diminishing. That's true. But the value of marginal utility is always positive, right? Similarly, so this is true for x and y. If we assume these two commodities are the normal good, then mu x is positive and mu y is also positive, right? So mu x by mu y, this is something positive, say 2 by 3, 4 by 5, like this, with a negative sign. So the slope is negative, minus 4 by 5, negative, minus 2 by 3, negative. So this is why from mathematics also we can show the slope of indifference curve is negative. And what is the value? The value is minus mu x by mu y. Any doubt? Any doubt from the slope derivation?
No, no.
Okay. So this is the general slope. Look, we have started from the general point of view. Then we will go to the different specialized case, and there we can find if it will deviate from the general, then what will happen. But in general, the slope of the indifference curve is minus mu x by mu y. Done. Now look, this is another new concept. Marginal rate of substitution. Generally, we are calling it as MRS. Marginal rate of substitution. In short, MRS. MRS is what? MRS is very simple. MRS is only mu x by mu y. If you leave that negative sign, then actually this is the mathematical value. This is the mathematical value of the indifference curve, slope of the indifference curve. So MRS is MUX by MUY, only MUX by MUY. So you can understand, if X and Y, these two commodities are general, normal good, then MRS is always positive. If X and Y are normal goods, then MRS is always positive. Any problem with MRS? It's a negative of the slope of the IC. That means only MUX by MUY. Okay. Negative of negative MUX by MUY. So what happens? Only MUX by MUY. So if X and Y are normal goods, then MRS is positive. Done? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any query, anyone else, please ask. Now the next one, convexity of indifference curve. Look how. As I said, convexity, look, there was a slope. Look, there is one of the assumptions. Convexity of preference. This is one of the assumptions of the ordinal approach. And here we say variety is preferred. And I explained how variety is preferred. The same thing I am explaining here with the help of a diagram. Look, that pink indifference curve, this is the original indifference curve. Now, this is a particular, look at the pointer. This is a point on the indifference curve showing a certain level of X and Y. This is another point on the same indifference curve showing another combination of X and Y. Okay. Now, what I have done, I just make a combination of these 2 points. If you can remember the equation, some points are given and you are going to draw, if you are going to make the straight line equation. So it will be like x minus x1 divided by x2 minus x1 is equal to y minus y1 divided by, if you can remember, this is the mathematical formula of deriving the equation of the straight line if 2 of the points on the straight line is given. Okay, so here also, this is a point, this is another point, x and y, combination of x and y, and I am going to draw a straight line through these 2 points. So if I draw this line, then that line will be the blue line. This is a straight line. Okay. Now, if you take any point on this blue line, just like this, if you take any point on this blue line, and if you draw one indifference curve which is tangent to this particular point, that indifference curve will definitely higher indifference curve than the blue one, right? So what is the conclusion? That any combination of this point and this point is preferred. Any combination of this point and this point is giving more utility than the pink indifference curve. Okay, the green indifference curve is showing higher utility. So this is why it is said that this is the convex combination. Any point on this blue line is the convex combination of this first point and the second point. Okay, so this is how it is said variety is preferred, or this is the convexity of IC. Because the variety is preferred, because convex combination is preferred, that is why indifference curve is convex. Okay. Now I am going to discuss the properties of indifference curve. Now I am going to discuss the properties of indifference curve. The first property is higher if you cannot understand, please stop me and ask. Okay. If you cannot understand, please stop me and ask. Otherwise, I will just continue with my own pace. So the first property is higher indifference curve means higher utility. How? I explained it already. This is a certain amount of x and certain amount of y. Given the amount of y, if you want to increase the consumption of x, that means this point is definitely give you higher utility. So if you draw one indifference curve through this new point, at a red indifference curve, that will definitely give higher utility than the pink one. So what is the conclusion? Higher the indifference curve means higher the level of total utility. So any problem with this property?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the next property. Two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Say they are intersecting each other. Say two indifference curves are intersecting each other. One indifference curve is the red one, another is the green one, and they are intersecting at the point A. Okay, so A is the common point for both the indifference curves. Now, A and B, these 2 points are on the red indifference curve. So they are showing same level of utility. A and C, they are on the green indifference curve. So they are also showing same level of utility. So as A and B, they are on the same indifference curve, I can say A is indifferent to B. Okay, or rather B is indifferent to A. Can I tell this? A and B, these 2 points are on the same indifference curve. So can I tell that B is indifferent to A?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I tell? Now, A and C, they are on the green indifference curve. So I can say A is indifferent to C. Done? Is it okay? A
Yes,
is
ma'am.
indifferent because they are on the same end. So what we are getting? B is indifferent to A is indifferent to C. So by the transitivity property, I can say B is indifferent to C. B is indifferent to A is indifferent to C. So B is indifferent to C. Okay. This is the transitivity property. If A is preferred to B is preferred to C, then A is preferred to C. So here I am saying indifferent, not preferred, indifferent. So here I am saying B is indifferent to A is indifferent to C, so B is indifferent to C. Agree?
Yes,
Agree
ma'am.
with me? But if B and C,
Ma'am, can
they
you explain this again? This indifference.
yeah, if look, A and B, they are on the red indifference card. So B is indifferent to A, done.
Yes, ma'am.
A and C, they are on the green indifference card. So A is indifferent to C, done.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
what we are getting, B is indifferent to A is indifferent to C. So what is the conclusion? B is indifferent to C. This is the transitivity assumption. Look.
Yes, ma'am.
This
But the thing is that two indifference curves can't intersect each other. So why
Yes,
will
I'm
this be
going,
applicable?
I am going there.
Yes, ma'am.
So from this transitivity assumption, I can say that B is indifferent to C. But the problem is B and C, they are on two separate indifference curves, right? B is on the red one and the C is on the green one. So they are on the same, they are not on the same indifference curve. They are on the different indifference curves. So what is the conclusion? B is not indifferent to C. Okay, if they are indifferent, then they should be on the same indifference curve, but they are not. So what is the conclusion? B is not indifferent to C. So B and C, they are not on the same indifference curve. So then what is the final conclusion? Therefore, two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. If they intersect, then that confusion is coming. We assume that they are intersecting. From that assumption, the confusion is coming that B is indifferent to C, but they are on the same indifference curve. So we just stuck. Then what is the conclusion? That means B and C, they are, as they are not on the same indifference curve, it is not possible to be indifferent. So two indifference curves cannot intersect. Okay. So this is the property. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Now IC is downward sloping, already discussed that why it is downward sloping, right? This is already discussed here, why it is downward sloping. Now the next property, convex to origin. This is also discussed. Convexity, how it is coming, that convexity. So these are the basic properties of the indifference curve. Again, so what are the properties of the indifference curve? The first one is higher indifference curve means higher utility. The second property is two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. The third property is indifference curve is downward sloping. And the fourth one is indifference curve is convex to origin. Okay, so these are the basic four features of the indifference curve. Okay, any problem with the property? Any problem?
No, ma'am.
अच्छा चले चलो next concept पे जाए, budget line. Now what is the budget line? Budget line is another extreme. Look what we are getting there. Higher the indifference curve means higher utility. So we, the consumer, what is our objective? To maximize our utility, right? So that means, look, if the objective is to maximize our utility, because we are a rational individual, we always want more satisfaction. So this is better for me. 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 Look, higher utility, higher indifference curve means higher utility. So I am going higher. I am going higher. So where should I stop? I cannot stop because my objective is to maximize the utility. But look, if this is the situation, then it is infinite, right? Then it is infinite. What will be the ultimate utility? What will be the optimum level of utility? So there is a constraint actually. If I follow only the indifference curve, we cannot find out the solution. It is an infinite process. So to find out the solution, we have to understand that I cannot go to that level. I cannot go to that level. I have a constraint. What is the constraint? My income. What is the constraint? The prices of the commodities. These are the constraint for the consumer. Consumer cannot purchase any amount of commodity. Okay. So based on that concept, the constraint, we are going to discuss the new thing, that is the budget line. Okay. Budget line is actually the constraint to the consumer. The consumer who wants to maximize his utility, this is a constraint, this is a boundary, this is a binding. Okay, so what it is? It is the combination of expenditure on two commodities so that the income level is constant. Look, as a rational individual, as a normal individual, our income is limited. Now, given that income, we have to allocate our expenditure for X and Y so that my utility will be maximum. Do you get the problem? Do you get the problem? As a consumer, my objective is to maximize utility. So I am going up, 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 up. So where should I stop? This is not the way I can maximize. I have to remember that my pocket is limited. The prices of commodities are there. So given all those constraints, I have to choose X and Y so that my utility is maximum. So budget line is actually the combination of expenditure of two commodities so that the income level is constant. Given my income, how can I spend for two commodities? Budget line is all about that. Given my income, how can I spend my money for two commodities? Is it okay? So this is the budget line. The definition portion is okay?
Yes, ma'am.
আচ্ছা সবাই মিলে yes ma'am করে যাচ্ছ না বুঝতে পারলে কিন্তু বলবে হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা now look so what is the equation again after getting the definition the next task is to find the equation c bar is my given income okay c bar is my given income someone is not writing c in some books you may find it as m bar no issue anything but bar should be there because your income is constant okay you cannot change your income suddenly so for a time period income is constant c bar now what is px into x px is the amount of money px is the price of x okay px is the price of x so px is actually the amount of money you have to pay if you want to purchase 1 unit of x if you want to purchase 1 unit of x, if you want to have 1 unit of x, then you have to pay px amount of money. Right? If I am saying the price of my pen is 10 rupees, that means if I want to have 1 unit of the pen, I have to spend 10 rupees. I have to give 10 rupees. Right? Is it okay? px
Ma'am, can
I'm just
you repeat, please?
yes I'm saying say the price of my pen is 10 rupees this is px x is the pen and price of the pen is 10 rupees so what does it mean that if I want to purchase 1 unit of the pen if I want to have 1 unit of the pen then I have to pay I have to give 10 rupees to the seller right
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the amount of money I have to pay for 1 unit. If I want to purchase 10 units of pen, then how much money I have to pay? Price of the pen is 10. I want to purchase 10 units or rather 10 pens. Then how much money I have to pay?
100.
100. Yes, 100 because 10 into 10. Okay. So here also Px is the price of the commodity and capital X, this X is the amount of commodity X the consumer can purchase. So Px into X this is the total expenditure for commodity X. Px into X, it is the total expenditure for commodity X. Is it okay? Px into X is the total expenditure for commodity X by the consumer. Okay. বুঝতে পারোনি? Not clear?
হ্যাঁ, px into x এর ব্যাপারটা বুঝে গেছি তো, py প্লাস ওইটা
ওটা তো একই ব্যাপার This is the total amount of expenditure for
কিন্তু
commodity
দুটো
Y.
একসাথে মানে গ্রাফে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছে ওটা ব্যাপারটা
না,
কেমন ইয়ে আছে
ওটা পরের কথা, আমি যাচ্ছি ওখানে। তাহলে px into x plus py into y, this is the total expenditure. Px into x plus py into y, this is the total expenditure for x and y, and C bar is my total income. So if there is no option of saving and investment, then my total income should equal to total expenditure. Okay. If there is no scope of savings or investment, if there is no option of savings or borrowing, then whatever my income I can spend, I have to spend it. So C bar is my total income, and px into x plus py into y, this is my total expenditure. That is why that equality is coming, because by assumption there is no scope of savings or borrowing. Okay. Okay.
yes
Yes,
ma'am
ma'am.
it means all the income is spent.
Used. Right, exactly. All the income is spent.
Used.
Now
Okay.
I want to draw this line. Now in the horizontal axis I am measuring y, on the vertical axis I am measuring x. You can do the opposite way, no issue. Now, first of all, to find it out, again it's better na, আমি না ভুল করেছি, I should write here y and here x. Just a minute, একটু দাঁড়াও, একটু correction করে। It should be y and it should be x. Okay, this should be x, this should be y. Yeah. Now look, we are measuring y on the vertical axis, x on the horizontal axis. So what is the slope of the line? dy dx, just like in difference curve. So from the equation, if I make total differentiation of this equation, if I make total differentiation of this equation, then the left hand side is again 0 because it's a constant income, and the right hand side, that will be px into dx plus
Differentiation with respect to what we are doing.
total differentiation, not with respect to.
Okay.
Okay. Then what is dy dx? Dy dx, because I am measuring y on the vertical axis. So what will be dy dx? This is,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes,
How do we decide whether we will do total differentiation or partial differentiation? Because
because
in
I
case of indifference curves, you did partial differentiation.
no, in that case also total differentiation. This is total differentiation. Why partial differentiation? With
No,
respect to
ma'am.
what?
Ma'am, it's partial differentiation of u.
No. Absolutely wrong. This is del. Look, u is a function of x and y. So I have to differentiate u with respect to x first, then with respect to y first. This is y second and next actually. This is why, but there is no partial differentiation. Look, if x is changing, then dx, due to change in dx, how much utility will change? So that is why del u del x. So del u del x is the change of utility due to 1 unit change in x. And how much x is changing? Dx. So that is why del u del x into dx plus del u del y into dy. This is also total differentiation. If it is partial differentiation, then I should write, say, dx divided by dA, like that. But this is not with respect to nothing. With respect to nothing, it's a total differentiation. Partial differentiation means you have to differentiate with respect to some other variable, right? But here we are differentiating totally.
Okay, ma'am.
Some mathematical problem is there in your concept. Okay, the conceptual problem is there regarding mathematics. In
Yes,
each
ma'am.
that is the thing, because look, I'm discussing this thing in the class for around 1 decade, so I know the mathematical problem is there. What is total differentiation? What is partial differentiation? What is the formula of differentiation for UB and U by V? This is the basic concept among the students. So this is how you are asking. This is why you are asking. But this is total differentiation and this is also total differentiation. Just go for total differentiation because you want to have dy dx. Okay. So what is the value of dy dx here? Px by py. So look at the slope. Px by py. This is what I derived here also, the same thing. Now Px is the price of x, fixed. Py is the price of y, fixed. That means these two are the parameters, constant with a negative value. That means the budget line is negatively sloped. Okay, that means the budget line is negatively sloped. Now what about the horizontal and vertical intercept? Look, I am measuring x on the horizontal axis. So say y is 0. In this equation, in this budget equation, say y is 0. Then what is x? X is c bar by px. Is it okay? If y is 0, then x is equal to c bar by px. Do you agree with it? কি হলো বুঝতে পারছো না?
আরেকবার বলুন।
Look at the budget equation. C bar is equal to px into x plus py into y. Say y is equal to 0. Then x is equal to c bar by px. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this is the maximum amount of x you can consume. This is the maximum amount of x you can consume given the price, given the income. So this is here, c bar by px. Similarly, if x is equal to 0, then y is equal to c bar by py. Okay, so this is the maximum amount of y you can consume given your income and the prices. So this is your vertical intercept. So you have your vertical intercept, you have your horizontal intercept, you have the slope. And it is a straight line, downward sloping straight line. So just draw the line. So this is your budget line. The budget line is downward sloping straight line with the slope minus px by py. Now tell me your query. I'm waiting for your question. Any doubt? Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am. No
Yes,
doubt.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No doubt.
Okay. So I'm going to the next one. Equilibrium. Equilibrium means, look, the budget is a constraint. You can understand. Your income level is a constraint. You cannot go anywhere. You cannot consume anything. Prices of two commodities, these are also the constraint. You cannot purchase any amount of commodity, right? So given all those constraints, what is your objective as a consumer? As a objective of the consumer is to maximize your utility. Okay. So ultimately, you can get your utility here. Let me draw another indifference curve like this. This indifference curve is intersecting this budget line, say at the point A. Okay. So this is your budget line. So you can move along the budget line. You can move along the budget line. You can change your consumption combination along the budget line because your budget permits you to do that. From A, if you are moving through EE, okay, from A, if you are moving towards E, then you can go to the higher indifference curve, then why not? That is why A is not the equilibrium point. A is not your ultimate consumption point. Similarly, if you consider this point as intersection point as B, if you move from B to E, you can go to the higher indifference curve, that means more utility. As a consumer, your objective is to maximize the utility, then why not? That is why B is also not the ultimate consumption point. So what will be the ultimate consumption point? E. Okay. So what is the speciality of E? At E, look at the equilibrium point very carefully. At E, indifference curve is tangent to the budget line. And tangency means what? Tangency means the slopes are equal. Okay. Tangency means the slopes are equal. Now, if slopes are equal, what is the slope? Tell me, what is the slope of the indifference curve? What is the slope of indifference curve? Division below.
mu x by
MRS.
minus mu x by mu y. Okay. And what is the slope of the budget line? Aaj ki korechi bolo. Minus
px by
px by py.
exactly px by py. So that minus will cancel out. Pashi minus ache. Baad chale galo. Then what is the equilibrium condition? Mu x by mu y is equal to px by py. So what is mu x by mu y? The name of mu x by mu y is MRS, right? Marginal rate of substitution. So what is the equilibrium condition? I can say MRS is equal to MRS is equal to Px by Py. So this is the equilibrium condition. This is the equilibrium condition of utility maximizing consumer. This is the equilibrium condition of utility maximizing condition, the consumer, right? Now look, say your income has increased. Okay, before going to that, look at this and tell me, if your income has increased, then how budget line will shift? In this slide, if your income, that is C bar, it has increased, then how budget line will shift?
It will shift outward.
Why?
Parallelly.
Yes, parallelly upward shifting, but can you tell me why? From the
Ma'am, can
values?
you repeat that?
If your income is rising, how your budget line will shift? Yes, your answer is right. It will shift parallelly upward. But can you tell me from those values that how it is happening?
Because consumption of X and Y increases.
No. C bar is rising. Simple. Look, what is the slope? Minus px by py. Px is constant, py is constant. I am not changing those. So the slope is same. So whatever be the budget line, it will be the parallel one. Then now the C bar has increased. So look at the horizontal intercept. C bar by Py. If C bar is increased, so C bar by Py will shift like this. Similarly, if C bar is increased, C bar by Px, that will shift like this. And the slope is constant. So if you join these two lines, it will be like this, simple. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
আচ্ছা এবারে বলো তো income is constant, price of x has reduced. Price of x has reduced. How your budget line will move? Income is constant.
It will become steep. I mean that intercept in the y-axis will increase.
Acha, yes. It will be like this.
Please repeat the question.
Measure. Yeah, I'm telling. Income is fixed. Price of y is fixed. Price of x is lesser than before. So the new budget line will be like this. Okay, that will be the new budget line. So new budget line will be like this. Yes. Similarly, if price of y is falling with all other things are constant, then the line will be like this. Okay. So this is how you can shift your budget line. Okay. I'm just giving you the idea. Remember one thing, as you are the honor student, don't expect the question like what is budget line? Find out the slope of the budget line, draw the budget line. No, this type of question will not come. The question may be like that, say income is constant, price of x is constant, price of y is falling. Show the effect of it through the budget line. Okay, that means that shifting you have to show. This is how you can expect your question. Done? Now look at this. Just a minute. Huh? Oh my God, 36 slides are there and it's only 17. Just half remains. So সমস্যা না to complete the syllabus. Look, if your income is rising, initially in equilibrium is at E1, now the equilibrium is at E2. So this is how equilibrium or the consumption of the consumer will change if there will be an increase in income only. Similarly, if price of X is falling, so the equilibrium is also shift. Look, you are moving on the higher indifference curve. In both the cases, you are moving on the higher indifference curve. So in both the cases, your utility level is rising. Okay, this is not an issue. Your utility level is rising. Okay, because of fall in price or increase in income, your utility is rising. Okay, now this is another thing, composite good. Composite good is very simple actually. Composite good means, say what we are thinking, that their consumer is consuming two commodities. One is X, another is Y. But is it reality? What do you think? Is it reality? Consumer is consuming only two commodities? Is it the reality?
No, ma'am.
In reality, we are consuming infinite number of commodities every day. Then how can you incorporate the reality in this two-dimensional space? This is why composite good concept is there. In case of composite good, say we are consuming n number of commodities. So one commodity is on one axis and n minus one number of commodities, it is just compiled and considered as a single commodity and it is on the another axis. Okay. So look, one commodity in one axis and all other commodities in another axis. I think someone's mic is on. So composite good means one commodity in one axis and all other commodities in another axis. This is called composite good. Okay, this is also in our syllabus. Don't worry, nothing special here. Only the thing is, you have to club all other commodities, n-1 commodities in another axis. That's all. কার মাইক অন করো তো, এরকম একটা বিচ্ছিরি আওয়াজ হচ্ছে। Anyway. Okay, this is something. For this part, subsidy in cash versus subsidy in kind. Before that, up to composite good, the reference is Pindyck and Rubenfeld. For consumer behavior, the reference I said for the reference is Pindyck and Rubenfeld. Regarding the indifference curve, the shapes of the indifference curves and all, for these portions, the reference is variant. Okay, only for the types of indifference curve. Only for the types of indifference curve. There are different types, as I showed you. Concave, convex, straight line, so many things. If time permits, I will also explain all those, and I should explain actually. For only that portion, the reference is variant, intermediate microeconomics. And regarding this part, which I am going to discuss now, for this part, the reference is Madla and Miller. Subsidy in cash versus subsidy in kind. For this part, the reference is Madla and Miller. Is it clear? For this heading, the reference is Madla and Miller. A blue colored book is there, Madla and Miller. Any problem? Yes?
Ma'am, can you please once again repeat the references?
Yes. In general, for consumer behavior, the reference is Pindyck and Rubenfeld. First. Second, in case of the varieties of indifference curve, that means different types of indifference curves, concave, convex, straight line, L-shaped, etc., etc. For different types of indifference curve, the reference is variant, Hall variant. Okay? Only for the types of indifference curves, the reference is variant. And this heading, look at the heading.
Variant which one? Microeconomic analysis or the intermediate?
Intermediate.
Okay.
And regarding this heading, look at the heading. For this portion, the reference is Madla and Miller. Okay, the reference is Madla and Miller. Very well written there. You may not get it in Pindyck. Okay, what it is, let me introduce it and then I will stop. I will explain it on, I think I have a class with you on Wednesday. I will explain it there, but let me introduce it so that you will open your Madla and Miller and you can read it out. Acha, dekho. Subsidy in cash, subsidy in kind. Subsidy in cash means, recently West Bengal government has introduced so many cash subsidy programs like Konyasri, like Jubosri, right? So this is what? This is actually the cash, right? This is actually the cash which is given to the eligible candidate. Okay, if you are a girl, your family income is a certain level. I'm not sure what is the exact gross income of the family determined by the government, and your age is certain, then you are eligible to get a certain amount of money from the state government. This is called Konyasri. Jubosri is another type of thing. These are all cash subsidy given by the authority to the people. Do you know the names of those? So is it clear what is subsidy in cash?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
I think রূপশ্রী না কি যেন একটা আছে বলো, যেটা বিয়ের সময় মেয়েরা পায়, কি যেন একটা বলে, অনেক কিছু আছে অ্যাকচুয়ালি, আমি এক্ষুনি নামটা মনে করতে পারছি না, I can't remember the name actually, But anyway, so these are actually the cash. You should have some bank account, and you should apply to through the channel. Government officers are there, so you have to apply the proper format through the proper format, and they will provide the money to your bank account. So this is called subsidy in cash. And what is subsidy in kind? State government is also giving cycle to the students, to the school students. Do you know the cycle? The girl student, the boy students, they're getting the cycle from the government so that they can go to their school regularly, smoothly. You know that process? You know that program?
Yes, ma'am.
This is called subsidy in kind. Okay. In terms of commodity, the subsidy is given. Okay. So this is subsidy in cash, subsidy in kind. Here in this area, we will study which one is good. So the same amount, okay, equivalent amount of subsidy in cash and subsidy in kind is given. So we have to think, we have to analyze which one is more preferred by the consumer, in cash or in kind. Okay, let me explain this table first. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. I'm coming back. Just look at the diagram. I'm coming back by 1 minute. Give me 1 minute only. Yes, look at this. AB is the initial budget line. AB is the initial budget line without any type of subsidy. Done. Now, say subsidy in cash is given. Fine. Subsidy in cash is given. So, if I'm giving subsidy in cash to you, for you, it's just like an increase in income. Do you agree with me? If I'm giving subsidy in cash to you, it is just like your income has increased, right? Is it so?
Ma'am, can you please explain this concept?
Yes. So subsidy in cash is given to you. That means some amount of money is transferred from my account to you. Say I'm the authority, I'm giving some money to your bank account per month. So for you, it is just like an increase in income. So initially per month you are earning 1,000. Now you are earning 2,000 because that additional 1,000 is given by me to you as a subsidy in cash. So for you, it is just like an increase in income. That's all. Not clear. Initially, your budget line is AB. Okay. Now I am giving you some subsidy in cash. So just like I'm transferring some money to your account. So for you, it is like as if your income has increased. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is just like increase in your income. So if your income is increased, you know, the budget line will shift parallelly upward. So now the new budget line is CD. Okay. Now the new budget line is CD. Okay. Now forget about subsidy in cash. Say I'm not giving you the money. I am giving you subsidy in kind. Okay. That means quantity. Say AE, amount of quantity I am giving to you. AE, amount of quantity I am giving to you. AE, amount of X I am giving to you. Free of cost. Free of cost. Okay, you are not going to purchase it. It is free of cost. So AE, amount of commodity is given to you. So when your Y consumption is 0, then you are getting AE. Next, for any amount of Y consumption, for any amount of X and Y combination, you are getting the same amount of commodity from me because it is free of cost I am giving to you. So this is called subsidy in kind. So in that case, what will be your budget line? AED. Equivalent. Okay, subsidy in cash and subsidy in kind is equivalent. If I am giving you subsidy in cash, you can purchase AE additional amount of X. Now I am not giving you that cash. Now I am giving you AE amount of commodity free of cost. So now for you, the budget line is AED. এটা বুঝতে পারছো? Okay. Do one thing. Draw this diagram in your copy. Write the heading. Write the heading. Draw this diagram in your copy. Look at the diagram. I have drawn it in here. Just draw the diagram in your copy. And try to remember what I said in the class. And try to relate it with the diagram. In the next class, I will repeat from here. Okay? Okay? Okay কিনা সেটাও বলছো না, সবাই ঘুমোচ্ছো না, কি বলো তো?
Okay,
Okay,
miss.
ma'am. Okay.
Okay, so just draw this diagram, write the heading, draw the diagram, and think what I said in the class. Try to relate it with the diagram. In the next class, I will start from here. Because otherwise, I think it's a big pressure on you. So many things I have discussed, I am discussing here. So it is a pressure on you. It's better to stop here. In the next class, I will start from here. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And if you are thinking it is a pressure, so don't worry, just ask